welcome to our World League Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Sam, and of course we have with us Rob. Rob, how's it going, Rob?
I'm good, Sam. How you doing?
Good, good. So only two matches to talk about today, Rob.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, winding down here. In the past we don't have a podcast after the finals. Maybe this year the same thing. You know what I mean? Normally it's just surprise, who won.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll leave it out there. It's like that cheesy Survivor moment, where he rolls off on the moped and nobody finds out till the party. So
exactly.
But I'm pretty sure we'll all know. But yeah, just remind everybody, we don't kick out the winner. It's a big surprise at the party.
There we go. Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong. You don't even send out the starters to everybody, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Go. Well, yeah, no, I'll send them out to everybody.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, because
we won't send any scores out. It'll just be the party announcement. So.
All right. Yeah, because people will just score them themselves if they really want to.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Defending Chump's going to be sitting at home scoring this. Actually, defending Chump may sit at home and score this. You never know. So.
yeah, maybe Tay too. Who knows?
Yeah, I really appreciate Tay sending out those, really, game by game updates. It's real helpful, man. They kept it cool. I was following those this weekend myself, so making my life easy.
Keep
So
you on the edge
kudos
of
to
your
Tay,
seat.
man.
All right, hey, let's talk about Saz versus New Denver. Don was really close. I mean, close to getting the finals, but yeah, he didn't show up this week, Rob.
Well, I mean, he personally showed up. He did go ahead and sit in a starting roster, and he had 9 players marked. It's just unfortunately outside of Blake Bortles, none of those guys showed up. Tyrod Taylor, nothing. Matt Forte, everybody must have loved that neither Forte or Langford was the one running the ball in at the goal line. That was awesome for just to confuse the hell out of the situation for next year. You figure Forte is probably gone from there at this point, right?
Yep.
And not, I don't know. Maybe they keep him around just because he's kind of a legend on the team, but that team's had other legendary running backs. So, Woodhead, it's tough to go into the playoffs with Woodhead, and there wasn't anything really much out there to pick up. And we kind of knew that last week, right? Antonio Brown, that was a little bit surprising. Their entire Pittsburgh Steelers team was surprising. That was a bad loss, Sam. I don't know how the hell you go into broken down, crappy Baltimore and do that. And, that score actually could have been worse. So, Benjamin, what are you going to get out of Benjamin? Gates. Really, you're looking at this roster right now, you're going, damn, how did you get this junk heap to the finals? Because it is not very inspiring. But Blake Bortles had a fantastic game, makes it respectful. Or we might have had a sub-50 score here, which... will get the ire of a lot of teams, but it's not his fault. I mean, he wrote it in there, he got in, he deserved to be in there, and he got blown out by Savs, who just had a massive performance there, really, 174.5 points, right?
Yep, Kirk Cousins right there.
Kirk Cousins is the fantasy playoff superstar of this year, right? I mean, he's going both sides there, just helping these guys to victories. I mean, let's be real. Tay could have started Alex Smith in this game. Sam's could have started Alex Smith in this game and still blown him out. But, he'll take it there. So Cousins looking good. Carr, average. That was a crap game. I don't even know how he got 18 points, to be honest with you. But they had, I think, at one point, like 34 yards passing in the second half. It was terrible. Devontae Freeman, boy, he really kind of fell back there, didn't he? Same with Kendrick West, but... And then Allen Robinson, just a huge game. Gronk, they were focused on him, took him out of the game. Sammy Watkins, and then Blair Walsh. Yeah, this is the Kirk Cousins, Allen Robinson, Blair Walsh show right here, and that is not a typo if you're looking at it. Carolina was worth an exact 0, so and kind of played like zeros. They had way too cocky performance by them in that game. That was not good, but. Yeah, Walsh, Robinson, Cousins, he dialed it up, man. Should have played a one-day fantasy league. Probably would have won even more money.
Yeah, I mean, even Hightower, if you wanted to start him, 122 yards and 2 TDs, I mean, that would have been, that would have blown him way more out, But yeah, Savs has a good team going into the finals here.
Oh, absolutely, man. You know, and he had the best record in the conference all year long, and you know, we got a little anomaly this year. We got the two. I mean, hell, in football in general. I mean, we got the two top teams, the two number one seeds going at it. You know, so you know, it's good for him. I mean, he's pumped. I can tell you that much. We were going back and forth on emails last night, a little consultation. You know, I got to start charging a fee for that. And I'm like, I don't know if you guys want my advice this year anyway. It's like, yeah, pick up Shane Drawn. You know, he's magic, right? So it's, yeah, you know, kudos to Savs. Great victory there. Just the best team really from, you know, beginning to end. Deals with the Andrew Luck loss. I think he had a couple other injuries on that team too. And I mean, basically he puts up 175 points this week without Odell Beckham. I mean, so it was, you know, a little testament to the depth there. And he's got depth at running back, like you just pointed out. So it's, you know, he can play matchups there for, you know, 1 week left to go and see how that works out for him. We'll talk about that in a minute, Phil.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this game, unfortunately, not an awful lot to say. Savs just pretty much smothered New Denver. It's, and as Don said, he'll take third or fourth every year, as would I. But you know, it's got to hurt a little bit. He's been up here a few times, you know, and been in this position. He's a long-time player, so he's felt it. But you know, one of these years, I'm sure he would love to go ahead and just finish the deal. But always gracious in defeat. So good season for New Denver. Savs, monster performance. Weren't going to beat him this week, man.
Yeah. And with that, let's go see who Sav's opponent is from Sticky Bun versus Nutsack, Rob. It would have been a close game. You know, Tay he was one start away from taking the victory.
Well, I'll tell you, Savs will not be playing the team that had the brilliant move of benching Julio Jones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that a couple times this year when we questioned it, right? And I really got a question there. And I know you're playing Carolina, but, dude, Carolina's good for 28 points, giving up 28 points in the fourth quarter of about every game they're in this year. How the hell do you say Julio Jones, Sam? Can you tell me this?
He was scared of that cornerback, Brown, I think his name is, Brown.
No, you're talking Norman or whatever.
Yeah. So he was worried about that cornerback. And
okay. Now Tay's a smart football guy, and Tay, I don't know.
He overthink it. He overthink it. Is that the word? Think it. He overthink it.
There is no such thing as a shutdown cornerback in the NFL anymore. There are guys that will limit you, but dude, those days are gone, man. I mean, the rules do not support cornerbacks doing that anymore. You can't touch the dudes with. I mean, you can barely breathe on them, you know, without getting a flag. So. You know, that guy has been a good player. I get it, but, dude, you're taking what? You're pretty much his top pick, right? Julio Jones.
Yep. And
you're benching him in favor of Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen or Denard Robinson, you know, take your pick, yeah, which one, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Oh, I'm sorry, Denard Robinson's the running back. Oh, I'm sorry. Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, Denard Robinson's a running back. He was open for a whole bunch from anybody named Robinson in that game, and...
Yep.
You know, the receiver Robinson, he actually showed up real nice. You know, most of those points, by the way, are on a 90-yard touchdown, which happened to be the longest in the league this year. But, hey, they score, and, I mean, that's 38 points right there. But Julio Jones was worth an awful lot of points. Did you bother to score it?
No.
Here, pause it real quick, Sam. I'll go score it real quick. Let's see. I got it up right now.
All right. Yep. So yeah, he was worth 42 points. He would have won.
Yeah, if you even just take the 4 off for Olsen there, and you know you got 38 points, so we're coming in at 173, 166. I mean, hell, let's see. Let's do the math the other way. If you bench Brady in a very difficult matchup with no healthy players, 42-29, brings to 33. Oh, he would have won that way too. Would have been 168 to 166.
Oh, man.
We can do this all day long, man.
What a coulda, shoulda. Yeah, man. He was just thinking too much, Rob. Thinking too much.
Well, you know, and we're all victim to that. But, you know, what do we always say? What's the number one rule in fantasy football, especially especially when it comes to wide receivers, man. It's ride your horses, dude.
Yeah,
you don't bench those guys in those games.
Yeah.
And you sure as shit never bench Julio Jones for a tight end, dude. I mean, what's the peak yard performance you're going to get? Like 64? You know? I mean, he did that on one touchdown, dude.
Yeah.
And a beautiful touchdown it was. I mean, let's just talk about Julio Jones for like another 20 minutes just to really rub it in on nuts. I mean, the way he just jumped over and extended his long arms and pulled that ball right out of the breadbasket and, you know, turned around and ran in. It was just a thing of beauty, man. And those were just 70 of his 178 yards, man.
Yeah. Now he's playing for third place.
Yeah, now he's playing for third. Yeah, Pittsburgh screwed Tay too, man. So, but you know, and Tom Brady kind of let him down. It just wasn't meant to be. He's a great player. He needs to change that to nutsack 4.0. You know what he really needs to do is change that to nutsack 2.0, right? Because you know he doesn't deserve the 3 yet. He can't be thinking that far ahead. He'll be up there again though. So I'm not going to give him too much fodder here to inspire him for next year, as if he really needs the inspiration to come back, right?
Yeah. And on Sticky Bun's side here, we can, I can talk about Cousins and Hightower being the same for Saz, but that's another. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Sticky Bun had a great game. Nothing from Ted Ginn Jr., of course.
I mean Hightower. Boy, where did he come from? I mean, I saw his name down there. I was like, yeah, okay, I guess, you know. And then New Orleans, man, that team plays with a lot of pride. I will say that for them. They've had some stinkers this year, but they've also had some games where we're just going, hey, we still think we're pretty cool, right? So, I mean, that great pickup right there. Obviously, the Kirk Cousins was a great pickup. Newton needed to lose at that point because if he played like he did in the playoffs, the real playoffs that are starting up here in a week or two, you know, it just, you actually still got to play with some class out there. He just kind of looked like he was playing against a junior high team, like a Harlem Globetrotter holding the ball over a Washington General's head. It was pretty bad. So he needed to get knocked down a little bit there. West Kansas City, dude, they scared the shit out of me against Cleveland last week because they just showed up. They showed up to play just enough to beat Cleveland, and that's about the only team they could have beat with that performance on offense, especially. The Gronk again, Ted again. God, that was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah. Carolina won't make it to the Super Bowl. That's my prediction, Rob.
You got to figure at some point that offense kind of starts to spin out, right? I mean, right now, Arizona looks unstoppable.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Yeah, it's either Arizona or Seattle will knock out Carolina.
Well, as long as the Rams don't miraculously make the playoffs here out of nowhere, I mean, because Seattle just can't beat the Rams. But Marshall, huge game again.
Yep.
McManus, New England. At the end of the day. And Tay had a great team. I mean, all kudos to him aside, and he fell victim to something we have all fallen victim to. And you just usually hope it's not a game that's so important here, and it's overthinking matchups. And it's Josh Norman, right? If it's not, guys, I apologize, but it happens. But Sticky Bun, as it turns out. It's his year, dude. I mean, kudos to him. I mean, all the way. He just kept making right move after right move after right move after right move. I mean, just this week, he picks up Cousins and Hightower off the wire, basically, here, and comes in with 86 points out of these guys, right?
Yep.
And he did that all year long. And that's almost, nobody gets that lucky streaming, so, and the guy's forced into it. I mean, even this week, you saw his email last week. He's like, Drew Brees, questionable, cut.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham, playing like an idiot, suspended. It's all season was like that for him. He lost guys, he came back, and he just kept making great moves. So, a deserved champion, and again, the other number one seed. So, and by the way, this is a great matchup. You ready to talk about that one?
Yeah. Let's talk about next week's finals. We won't even talk about third or fourth place matchup. Forget that.
Well, all I'll say about the third, fourth place matchup is I hope Nutsack starts Julio Jones next week.
There you go. That's commissioner's advice right there. Honest advice.
If you draft Julio Jones, start him every week. It's like, why even think? Start him when he's on bye. Who cares? Just don't give yourself a chance to jack that decision up.
Yeah.
Just get a permanent gray mark right there when you sit in your pick. So.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Sticky Bun versus Savs. This is Jaime's first championship dance, right? And this is Sticky Bun's second championship dance.
Yeah, it is, and second time. It's for Sticky Bun's case. I hope it's not third time's a charm. And for Savs, he's a strong player, and it's almost surprising to me this is his first foray into our championship game. Sam, what do you think, dude? First of all, you got to figure these teams that we're staring at and we're going to put out in the podcast are not going to look anything like they do here. Maybe Sticky Bun a little bit, but they're both dropping Cousins, right? They both have to drop Cousins.
We'll have to see. Who's Washington playing next week?
It doesn't matter. Washington cannot be better or worse than the number 4 seed. I mean, we might actually see Robert Griffin III out there this week.
Well, maybe he'll pick up Drew Brees again.
Yeah, well, maybe he will, and he would have been fine sticking with him, I mean, Brees had a huge game too, but Cousins had a huge game, and, and you're playing no risk there. They're both dropping Cousins. Okay, there's no question. I don't know that for sure, but they're both going to drop Cousins. Mm-hmm. Beckham, I guess you keep rolling. I'm looking at Sticky Bun right now. Cam Newton has to play. That's a huge benefit for Sticky Bun right there, right?
I guess, right, because they have to win to lock up home field, right?
Yeah, and they're playing Tampa, so Cam Newton could be gigantic. And you figure whoever his other quarterback is that he chooses to stream, okay, because it's not going to be Kirk Cousins. If it is, I'll be shocked, dude. There's just no way, dude. We could make these pickups $50 for this game, and I'd still get 5 each from both teams, and I would be paying the same amount too myself if I was in there. Yeah. Hightower, you'll stick with him. West, McCoy's probably out for the year at this point, right? But Beckham will be back. Maybe he wants to make amends, but God.
Yeah, it'd be Beckham, Gronk, and Marshall. I mean, that's he's going to roll out there. I'm positive.
And the interesting thing is, well, let's go back. We'll come back to running back. So he's going to go Beckham, Gronk, and Marshall, right? That's a no-brainer. Yep. But the thing is Savs is going to go Beckham and Gronk too, and what? Allen Robinson?
Yeah. Why not, right?
Yeah. Or maybe he chooses to go with Watkins, even though I wouldn't. I probably, wouldn't go Watkins over Robinson in this situation. Either or, Houston you can beat in the air a little bit. You never know there, though. It's Watkins, given the druthers here on marginal players like this, I would probably play the safer pick in Robinson. I think we're safe to say that we're not going to see Lockett in this game, right?
Correct.
And then if you jump back up to running backs, so there's no advantage at wide receiver here. They're both, 2/3 the same, and both have guys that could do well for them, even though I guess maybe just a little bit more Marshall, right?
Yeah.
If you look at quarterbacks, we don't even know the situation, but I think with just having the known commodity of Cam Newton and not having to stream in there, we give Sticky Bun a little bit of advantage at that quarterback. What do you think, Sam?
Just a little bit, yes.
Just a little bit, but I mean, who knows what and actually at this point, I do know what he's running out there, but it's I'm not going to say it. And he's known to send in 19 revisions, starting at 742 anyway. So, running back. So let's break that down. You got Hightower and Hightower, both sides, right?
Yep. We can be sure that they're starting them.
Yep, and Chicandrick West, both sides, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do here? This is an interesting situation. West has a nice matchup against Oakland. So, if I'm looking at Savs, I'm going Hightower, Freeman, and West. Those are the three guys you're figuring on, right?
If you don't flex a QB, right?
Well, they're both going to flex QBs. You just know they will. But let's assume they're going to flex QBs, right?
Okay.
So now the gamesmanship comes in. I am almost, Cody may shock me. Maybe he goes James Stewart. I don't know. But, I mean, do these guys try to cancel each other out?
Yeah,
I don't know. You got Hightower and West.
Hightower and West, that's it. I think Hightower and West, they'll flex the QB. So it's Hightower and West at running back, a wash.
Well, but what about Savs Freeman there, right? I mean, do you take your chance? Let's say this scenario. Let's say that Cody runs Hightower and West out there, even though he's with Stewart down there, he's definitely got the option, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're Savs, do you take the chance and run Freeman out there and get your ass beat by Chakandrick West, let's say, or by Hightower? It's such a tough call, right?
Yeah, it is. But oh gosh, Freeman's playing New Orleans. Man, that's tempting. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see who they put out there. So finishing up here, obviously you can't beat Blair Walsh. She's the greatest player in the league, and just looking over here real quick. Okay, thank God Cody doesn't have him, too. I was afraid we're just going to call this game a tie right now here if we keep at it.
Yeah.
But then he's got McManus, so, dude, other than that, that winning field goal attempt the other night,
yeah.
I mean, he missed.
What happened? Jeez.
Didn't he miss the end zone? Yeah, he got the one later.
He missed the net. He missed the whole net.
I thought didn't he kick that thing out onto I think if you actually look at a satellite view, you can actually still see that ball tumbling down the Rocky Mountains right now as we speak, right? So it was that bad. Then you got what? New England, Arizona defense.
Yeah.
Doubt we've seen any moves there, and Carolina, Minnesota. You're probably going to go Carolina, right? Minnesota playing Green Bay, who just looks so awesome on offense. So, dude, we're really talking a game here where it's going to come down to one wide receiver, whoever Savs picks up at quarterback, and whoever Cody picks up at quarterback, and a really tough decision at running back, and advantage Savs at
defense.
Probably
defense.
Defense.
Yeah, Carolina versus Tampa, because look, Arizona's playing Seattle.
Who's New England play?
New England is playing. Who is New England playing?
Miami.
At Miami, yeah.
Yeah, so, but New England, dude, that really is the junior high squad out there on their defense right now. So I don't know. I'm going to call it. Let's give it a call here.
Fine, let's see. Rob, I gotta say Savs. Slightly.
You gotta say Savs?
Slightly has the advantage.
I am going to stick with Sticky Bun here.
Ooh.
And I mean just barely. The only reason is I think Marshall is better matchup than Robinson or Watkins.
Yeah.
And the defense, I don't know, that could be the sticking point. But the one thing that sticks out for me on this team is just the consistency of Cam Newton. I can see him having a huge game and in a must-win scenario.
Yep. And especially against Tampa, yeah.
Yeah, it could be a monster, and that's all I got. Again, without really knowing who they're running out there at the quarterback position, things will change. But if I'm looking at it, dude, somehow, some way, Sticky Bun has been making the moves for 16 weeks. Why stop there? He's on a roll. Just finish it out at 17. He gets his championship. But I think we both agree that if it goes the other way, hell. Didn't see that coming, right?
yeah, you would hate to get second place 2 out of 3 years, right? I believe he's been in the championship 2 years ago, right? So.
Well, yeah, no, but I think it's still better. And I've gotten 11th place back-to-back here, so right now I would take second place 2 out of 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
It's
So you hear here, Rob thinks slight edge goes to Cody there. So we'll have to see how it goes. So you and I are split on that. We'll have to see what all the moves they make. But Hey, this is the last.
It's a toss-up, but
Yeah.
go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is the last podcast of the year for us, Rob. It's been great. It's been a pleasure all year. I speak for everybody when I say we look forward to next season. It can't come, soon enough for us especially us who's been knocked out of the playoffs.
Well, Sam, I agree with you, but we can go ahead and take about 6-7 months off. I'm okay with that. There comes a point in every season where the commissioner starts going, and so I appreciate, while we're on it, first of all, I appreciate everybody in the league. Special kudos to you, Sam, for doing this every week.
Yeah.
With all sincerity, you do a terrific job. I actually tune in and start, watch these sometimes, which is kind of gay because I am the talent here. And also, shout outs to obviously Todd, who does a great job with the pickups. That's probably the hardest part of the whole thing, and runs out those Thursday starters. So a huge kudos to my co-commish there, and to Nutsack and to Scotty for doing the scoring for us, helping us out with that every week. And then to all our podcast guests, it's a lot of fun. So line up next year and watch your team get cursed too, right?
Yeah. People sign up, man. It's a lot of fun when we have that third person on here.
Oh, it's a great time, and I'm assuming nobody is dropping, so it'll be the same mess next year. So thanks to everybody. It's really fun just having the same group of guys in here every year because it really just builds it up pretty good. You start getting some bitter rivalries and everything. But thanks to all the guys I mentioned and just to everybody in the league, and everybody have a Happy New Year, okay?
Thanks. Happy New Year. And, Rob, when are we going to get together again?
That's going to be 2 weeks from this Saturday. That's going to be the 16th, my
16th.
house.
January 16th, people, so be there. So
5 o'clock.
So, all right. Thank you for tuning in. The 16th at 5 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in, and good luck to everybody that's still in it.